I wanted to talk about the Shia LaBeouf stuff. Have you guys seen all this? Shia LaBeouf did a real talk with John Bernthal on YouTube. Did you guys see any of that? No. Okay, I'm getting yeses and nos here. Okay, then let's make it more broad. How many of you know that Shia LaBeouf is currently being sued by FKA Twigs for abuse? He's a tier 1 Locky, and resub Cody, Fluffy, and Gecko. Overwhelmingly no, which means this whole campaign on Reddit's doing a great job. I'm pretty convinced that Reddit's being astroturfed by like Shia LaBeouf's team to make him look good and try and brush under the rug all of this abuse that right now has come to light from his previous girlfriend FKA Twigs. So, what happened is FKA Twigs and Shia LaBeouf dated for, I think it was like a year. And she then made a big statement earlier this year about how it's a miracle she survived, and then told a pretty haunting tale about being with Shia LaBeouf with some really awful things about what he'd do to her. Genuinely very disturbing. One that really stood out to me is she made this claim, like this sounds like actual serial killer psychopath shit. LaBeouf would shamelessly brag about shooting stray dogs. He said it helped him get into character as a gun-toting henchman for his role in 2020's tax collector. Twigs was disturbed by his confession and questioned him. I said to him, "That's really bad. Why are you doing that?" And he was like, "Because I take my art seriously. You're not supporting me in my art. This is what I do. It's different from singing. I don't just get up on stage and do a few moves. I'm in character." And a lot of other horrible things, like he would choke her, attack her, threaten her, all kinds of horrible shit. And she's suing him for all of the awful things he did to her. Another big one is he knowingly gave her an STD. He's even confirmed this himself, where he had an STD and refused to tell her about it until she came down with it, and then he came clean about it. He tried to use like makeup to cover it up and all kinds of shit. And then now it's become a big deal. But Shia LaBeouf then went on John Bernthal's Real People Talk or whatever. Where is it? There it is. He went on this show, and now all of a sudden everyone's forgiving him. If you read these comments, it will immediately make you so sad. They're just talking about how strong Shia LaBeouf is for owning up to his mistakes, where he confirms that he literally did abuse her. Like, confirming all of her massive claims. He does confirm a lot of it. And people are like, wow, he's so strong. This is so big of him. You know, I'm wishing him the best. This is great. Shia LaBeouf's truly a changed man. It's so fucked up. It's not like he's been to jail or anything. At all. Oh yeah, he talked about being converted to the Catholic Church. Yeah. I watched a decent chunk of this. And he just... Like, yeah, he says, yeah, I did these things. I abused her. I did all of this and that. But then he still tries to make himself the victim. And he keeps talking about how he experienced an ego death. Where was it? Oh, he also talks about cheating on every woman he's ever been with and whatever. Where did he talk about ego death? This is like a transcript of some of the big moments. Give me just a sec. Oh, here it is. Had she not intervened... She's like actually thanking... He's actually thanking Twigs for coming forward, revealing all the abuse. Had she not intervened in my life and not created the avenue for me to experience ego death, I'd either have a really mediocre existence or be dead in full. So he keeps talking about ego death. He used to be self-centered, he used to be this, he used to be that. He used to only care about himself. He'd hurt everyone around him, abuse people, all that. But then he goes on to say, my purpose, and I mean this with every fiber of my being, is to be instructive with my life so that I can be an advertisement, like a billboard, for a principled way of living, which is a direct contradiction to experiencing an ego death and no longer wanting to be the center of attention that he kept talking about. The guy is an absolute unhinged narcissist. So I don't believe anything from his apology is genuine, nor does it really matter. He should be in jail. And yet everyone in these comments and on Twitter are talking about how this is so good and that, Twigs needs to forgive Shia for what he did to her. Twigs is being really petty about it by suing him for all of the abuse she experienced. Clearly he's remorseful. It's so fucked. How did John Bernthal respond? I mean, I guess the only way he could, by just continuing to press the conversation. Not enough pitchforks for you. See, that's so fucked. Everyone talks about cancel culture, this and that. This is a criminal. If anyone else did this, they'd be in jail. Shooting stray dogs for the sake of getting into character, strangling women, beating women, threatening to kill people. That's not cancel culture. It's a criminal. Need evidence, which she's providing, and he has confirmed himself. Lying about withholding a sexually transmitted disease and knowingly transmitting it is also a crime. I know everyone loves to be like, cancel culture this, cancel culture that. This guy's a fucking criminal. If you did this, you'd be in jail. Innocent until proven guilty. I agree, and I'm very interested to see the evidence that comes out. But he himself has confirmed a lot of what she said. He has said that he has done a lot of what he's accused of. Openly. Even made a big hoopla about how he used to withhold the fact that he had an STD from his partners. He has not. Okay, so you're making things up. Here's a direct quote from it. Where was it? It's in this article. He called it manipulative. During the interview, Shia LaBeouf admitted to cheating on every woman I've ever been with and never telling his sexual partners about getting cold sores, which he acknowledged was manipulative. Anything else you want to lie about? I don't know why you're running PR for this guy. He literally openly admits to a lot of it. Cold sores is not a jailable offense. He is knowingly transmitting STDs. Thanks to the resub, free origami, Jumex, shrimp, and Coke. And abnormal. Who am I arguing with? What is your name? Shia LaBeouf's alt, Rosham Bobo? That's not the same as shooting dogs, so you're moving the goalposts. The shooting dogs claim was backed up by somebody else as well, but yeah, Twigs talked about it. I don't know if he had, let's see, did he mention it here? So now that you got debunked on that one, you no longer hold to it. So what do you say about him admitting to transmitting cold sores? The STDs. Knowingly. Rosham, your turn. But no, it doesn't look like in this article they talk about him there. Yeah, I don't get the meat swallowing. It doesn't make any sense. Thanks to the resub. Nersila. Which I said is not true at all. Even though he admitted that it's true in his interview. So now you're saying he's lying about it being true. So you know more than he does. Oh my god. I swear, this is what Twitter does to a brain, man. Ugh. It's like crocodile for the mind. You said he admitted everything, which I said was not true. Never said he admitted everything. I said he admitted to a lot of the claims, which he did. You said he did not knowingly transmit STDs. Here's a direct quote from his interview. And now you're just not acknowledging it. I just looked at your logs. You're once again just dodging it. Here's your logs. He has not. He never said he shot dogs. Cold sores is not jailable. Not the same as shooting dogs. There's your logs. You said he has not, which I have just proved he has. Like, what do you mean? About the dogs. Your first point was about the STDs, and now you're wrong, so you're back on dogs. Yes, only 2 people have talked about his shooting of stray dogs. He didn't admit that. not in the interview. But if she can prove that, then great, to back up the claim. But you just keep moving the goalpost. Thanks to Gift Sub Anonymous and the resub Draco and Bulldog. But this is what I'm talking about, man. It's wild. It's fucking wild. It's been an extremely successful campaign from Shia LaBeouf to get like all this sympathy and make people be like, oh, I forgive him. Thanks to the gift sub Pope and the 5 gift subs Mesh. Thank you for that, Mesh. And the resub Daniel. Oh, of course I've seen the Shia LaBeouf music video, or musical. That was like one of the biggest things on the internet for a while. That thing has like 80 million views. The guy was a laughingstock in 2014. Why is he garnering so much sympathy for being an abusive asshole? It's because of this talk. He admits to being abusive. And people are like, wow, he's so down to earth to admit to this. Like, he one of his direct quotes is, I abused all... where, you know what? I won't even butcher it. Or did he say hurt? I can't remember. He might have used hurt. I hurt that woman. I hurt many other people and many people before that woman. Pleasure-seeking, self-centered, dishonest, inconsiderate, fearful human being. This is in reference to FKA Twig's lawsuit of all the abuse she suffered when she was dating him. Then he goes into more detail in the interview. How much she's suing him for? That I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I only learned about this today. I had no idea this shit happened. I still just knew him as that absolute punching bag on the internet, where 4chan tracked down his "We will not divide" or "He will not divide us" flag or whatever, using like airplane trails and all that. You see South Park's getting a new game? I heard about it on Twitter. I didn't look into it though. Thanks to Tier 1 Guac and the resub Meaty Man and Cool Pugs, MTX, Squirk, and Tier 1 Harvest. The bits 186. At least he's getting charged. He's not. He's getting sued. If anyone else did this shit, they'd be in jail. Like, it's a... She makes a lot of claims here, and I'm imagining she's got something to prove them, otherwise he wouldn't be doing this giant press tour of like, woe is me. Yeah, this is a breakdown from the lawsuit. Shooting dogs is fucked up. Yeah, if she can prove that claim, that's a pretty damning one. That one is so fucking wild. I wouldn't put it past him, though. That sounds like a really Shia LaBeouf thing to do. He's like a huge proponent of method acting. I remember on the set for that Brad Pitt movie, everyone refused to be around him because he refused to shower. Because he wanted to get into character, so he completely got rid of his personal hygiene for the sake of getting into character. Why did it take so long to come out? It came out earlier this year. And like the second she was able to. She had to plan a full-blown escape in order to get... allegedly had to plan a full-blown escape in order to actually get away from him. She had tried once before, but he had completely shut it down. I think it was somewhere in here. How she had like packed her bags, but he came home earlier and then threw her down onto the bed and kept her locked down for however long. Screaming at her. Am I gonna get the new Killer Clowns from Outer Space game? I play like every new game, man. Yeah, I'll play it. I already saw some people compare to Amber Heard in the chat, which is wild. He literally admits to a lot of her claims. Like, it blows my mind. I think like the anti-cancel culture has become like the biggest fucking snowflake movement of all time. The guy is admitting to it, and you're still saying he's lying, he's wrong, he didn't do it. He's a tier 1 maple. Does that earphone ever hurt after a while? Not really. I prefer it to headphones. Headphones actually hurt after a while. Is there some Ghost and Supa? The 5 gift subs, Neat. Thank you, Neat. Why do you think people defend him? I don't know, actually. Because everyone used to just laugh at him because he's an unhinged lunatic. And is still clearly an unhinged lunatic who's putting on a front now in these interviews. Like, he can't even help but contradict himself here with his whole ego death, but then still wanting to be the billboard for living a principled life. I don't know why anyone defends him when he openly admits to some of the claims. I couldn't tell you. He's not like a big enough celebrity where it's like a clout thing. And he's not like an entertaining enough actor to be like a fan thing. He's a prime Jez. If it was like 15 years ago, maybe. But now he hasn't done anything interesting in so long. He was good in Honey Boy. I didn't see Honey Boy, but he also brought that up on the show. He made a whole press tour about how fucked up his dad was, and then in the press tour he's like, yeah, actually my dad was always there for me. Like, he fucking lied about all of it. He's like, yeah, my dad was, kind of crooked, a little wonky, but he was always there for me. And I made a whole press tour out of saying how fucked he was as a man. And I think that one's in here too. We'll just do dad. Nope. What does he say? I imagine that would be in here. Because this is like the big cliff notes on the important parts. Maybe not. I think it focused on more of the abuse stuff. Maybe his dad made him take some of the things back. I vaguely recall from the interview he said that he gave his dad a toned-down version of the script so his dad would okay it. His dad had no idea he'd be portrayed that way. Apparently his dad didn't even know his son felt any type of way. But I'm just going off memory there. I can't quite recall what the specifics of that were. But I remember him completely backpedaling, saying how much he regrets what he did to his dad on that press tour, because his dad was not bad to him. Please stop the argument about cold sores not being an STD. Cold sores equal herpes. You're arguing with me? Bro, I'm the one that's saying it is an STD. He literally even says it's an STD. Like, everyone says it's an STD except that one fucking bot. What? Why are you tagging me? I'm not the one that said that. He is literally the one who openly said that he was transmitting STDs knowingly. He used makeup to cover it up. He's telling chat. Oh. Gotcha. He tagged me in it, so I thought it was to me. I was gonna say, what the fuck are you talking about? He's a tier 1 God, Yari and the resub Pyronamic. I get cold sores and have it. Christ, stop arguing the cold sores. No, it was a literal diagnosed STD. Like a legitimately diagnosed STD. The cold sores thing comes from that one fucking bot in chat. Good lord. Someone tried to kill the vice president of Argentina an hour ago. Jesus Christ. You said tried, so I guess they didn't succeed. Well, that's good at least, right? Did you hear about the plane flight that a passenger kept airdropping his nudes to others in the cabin? Yeah, and then the pilot got the nudes and asked everyone to stop sending him nudes. I did see that. The video is kind of underwhelming, but it's a cool story. Thanks to the resub, the Rat, Taylor, and Yeet. Yeah, in the Prime Tiege. You see the guy who pretended a pepperoni was a space telescope photo? How'd that go? Thanks, resub, Sarah. That's sweet. Thanks, Sarah. People got surprisingly annoyed for falling for it. For the pepperoni? I don't know why. You see the guy that assassinated Shinzo Abe has a pretty positive approval in Japan. It's a very unprecedented thing to happen. It's not that unprecedented. In fact, just last week I learned about a Japanese cannibal who went to France, ate a woman, came back to Japan, and was hailed as a celebrity. He had his own talk show, like he was interviewed constantly. I think eventually his fame fell out, but he was treated like a celebrity when he got back. He even wrote I think he wrote like a bestseller about how he killed and ate the woman. That dude was old news. Yeah, I'm just saying it's not unprecedented for someone that did something fucked up to be hailed as like a hero or whatever in Japan. I don't know why. I couldn't tell you why. But it has happened before.